Hi there, welcome to the channel. In this video, we're going to share with you 10 of the creepiest people in history. From 600 years ago to the recent past, you'll learn about some of the most bone-chilling, eeriest, and creepiest people in the history of the world. Let's dive in. Number 1. Ed Gein. Ed Gein was a quiet and unassuming farmer from Plainfield, Wisconsin, but after his arrest in 1957, police discovered his house of horrors. Inside, authorities found furniture and clothing made from human skin, skulls turned into bowls, and masks crafted from real faces. Gein admitted to grave robbing and murdering 2 women, but it was his macabre collection that inspired horror villains like Norman Bates, Leatherface, and Buffalo Bill. Number 2. Elizabeth Báthory. Countess Elizabeth Báthory, a Hungarian noblewoman, was rumored to have tortured and killed as many as 600 young girls, earning her the nickname the Blood Countess. Witnesses claimed she burned, mutilated, and even bathed in the blood of her victims, believing it would preserve her youth. Though she was never officially tried for her crimes, she was imprisoned in her castle, where she remained walled up in a single room until her death. Number 3. H. Holmes. H. Holmes built a 3-story hotel in Chicago during the 1893 World's Fair, but it was no ordinary inn. It was designed as a murder castle. The building contained soundproof rooms, hidden passages, gas chambers, and a crematorium. Holmes lured unsuspecting guests into his nightmarish hotel, where he killed them using various methods, selling some of their skeletons to medical schools. He confessed to 27 murders, but the actual number is suspected to be much higher. Number 4. Jack the Ripper. Jack the Ripper's identity remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in history. In the autumn of 1888, this unidentified killer terrorized London's Whitechapel district, brutally murdering and mutilating at least 5 women. The Ripper sent taunting letters to the police, some allegedly written in blood, and his surgical precision led some to believe he had medical training. Despite countless theories, his true identity was never discovered, leaving behind a dark legacy of terror. Number 5. Carl Panzram. Carl Panzram was a remorseless serial killer, rapist, and arsonist who admitted to murdering over 20 people and committing countless other crimes. He spent most of his life in and out of prison, where he was known for his violent behavior. In his chilling autobiography, he expressed deep hatred for humanity and took pride in his killings. Even at his execution, his last words were reportedly, "Hurry it up, you Hoosier bastard. I could kill a dozen men while you're screwing around." Number 6. Issei Sagawa. Issei Sagawa was a Japanese student studying in France when he murdered and cannibalized his classmate, René Hartfeldt, in 1981. He was caught after attempting to dispose of her remains in a lake, but was declared legally insane and deported to Japan, where he was eventually released. Shockingly, he went on to become a minor celebrity in Japan, writing books and giving interviews about his crime, showing no remorse for his actions. Number 7. Albert Fish. Albert Fish was a sadistic killer, child predator, and self-proclaimed cannibal who claimed to have murdered and eaten multiple children. His most infamous crime involved 10-year-old Grace Budd, whose murder he described in a sickening letter to her mother. Fish also engaged in extreme self-mutilation, inserting needles into his body, some of which were found still embedded in his pelvis during his autopsy. He was executed in the electric chair in 1936, but not before proudly detailing his horrific crimes. Number 8. Gilles de Rais. Once a respected knight and a companion of Joan of Arc, Gilles de Rais became one of history's most disturbing figures. After his military career, he reportedly turned to the occult and began abducting, torturing, and murdering children. Some historians believe He was the inspiration for the fairy tale Bluebeard, a story about a nobleman who killed his wives. He was eventually arrested, confessed under torture, and was hanged for his crimes. Nine, Vlad the Impaler, Vlad III, also known as Vlad the Impaler, was the real-life inspiration for Bram Stoker's Dracula. As the ruler of Wallachia, he was infamous for his cruelty, especially his preferred method of execution, impalement. It is estimated that he killed tens of thousands of people this way, sometimes displaying forests of impaled bodies as a gruesome warning to his enemies. Some accounts suggest he even dined among the impaled victims, further adding to his terrifying legacy. Number 10. Richard Ramirez. Known as the Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez was a sadistic serial killer who terrorized California in the 1980s. He broke into homes at night, brutally attacking, raping, and murdering his victims. He often left satanic symbols at crime scenes and showed no remorse, even laughing and flashing pentagram tattoos during his trial. When he was sentenced to death, he chillingly responded, "Big deal. Death always went with the territory." So, there you have it, and we shared with you 10 of the most creepiest people in history. We talked about Ed Gein, who made clothing from human skin, Elizabeth Báthory, who bathed in her victim's blood, and H. Holmes, who designed a murder castle. We covered Jack the Ripper, who was never identified, Carl Panzram, who was remorseless to the very end, and Issei Sagawa, who murdered and cannibalized his classmate. You learned about Albert Fish, who murdered a 10-year-old child, Gilles de Rais, who also murdered children, Vlad the Impaler, who killed tens of thousands of people, and finally, Richard Ramirez, who left satanic symbols at crime scenes. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. We'll see you in the next Top 10 video.